Facing 120 years, forever, you know. Took about 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years. We got it all the way down to 50 whole hours of community service. Yeah! Send a message to the community. There's my brother right there. 120 years, he's already 72 years old. I said, hey bro, take the deal if they're gonna guarantee you the 120 years. I mean, come on, you'll be 200 by the time you get out. My God. But they couldn't guarantee it, so he never, and then, you know, eventually they let him go. 50 hours community service, he's walking free, you know. Don't take the plea bargain. The other thing is, when I was talking to the cop out there, I told him, Roger is part of this whole thing, yeah. We now have the federal government exactly where we want them. They can't kick us out of court and say, you have no standing to tell us the way it is. How is it? Well, the way it is that the Controlled Substance Act, the great Controlled Substance Act that they want to convict everybody on, the thing is a fraud. They're perpetrating a fraud upon the people. Okay? Perpetrating a fraud upon the people because this law, oh my God, it's so, what do you call that? Beyond the shadow of a doubt. I mean, come on. It's not supposed to have any medical value to anyone, but it is medicine to how many millions of people. Even just the other day, the great Veterans Administration said that veterans can smoke marijuana for PTSD. Duh! I've been doing it for 40 years! That's the only thing that kept me okay. Okay? You understand? Because I was like all wacko after I came back from Vietnam, you know. The way people treat you over there. You can't trust anybody. Yeah. So, I mean, I really don't trust anybody because, I mean, you can't trust your own government. You can't trust the police because they're going to enforce these laws that are frauds. So you can stand over there and look at me and hear me say that it's a fraud and they're going to continue to persecute us. Okay? So the last thing I want to say is the Controlled Substance Act has already been exempted many, many times. So, in a religious use situation, you have to give us an exemption. It's been done before, proven, that's the least restrictive means. So, do not take the plea bargain, smoke religiously, join the church, help us free Roger. We have them exactly where we want them. Remember that. This is like a reverse Trojan horse kind of thing. You got to get in there somehow in order to go to court. Okay? So they took the bait, they dragged them in, they have a weak case, the case is so weak, they went against the Constitution, you know, the way that laws work, a speedy trial and all that, we were ready, because we're going to kick their butt when we get them in court. But they need 7 more months to do what? To give us an exemption? Oh my God, if it takes you that long, I hope that's how they pay you. Cops in your pension, yeah. But remember, it's a really big deal now because it really hurt a lot of people. And so now the settlement is in the millions of dollars. I can't even comprehend. You attack the churches. I have a church. My church recognizes Roger's church. We recognize other churches. They even recognize me. They call me, hey, Reverend Ken. They recognize me. I recognize them. I recognize all of you as being good, religious marijuana smokers. So, aloha, continue smoking religiously because I know I am.
Aloha. I'm Grant Maury. I'm a 67-year-old retired university vice president and a fundraising consultant. I'm exercising my freedom today to speak on behalf of the Reverend Roger Christie. Although I have never met Reverend Christie, I believe his arrest is a bogus assault on the freedom of religion in the United States and the right of sanctuary in the Kingdom of Hawaii.
Yeah!
His arrest raises the greatest concern regarding the erosion of freedom against a backlog of confusing statutes and laws at the federal, state, and county levels. The laws in these three areas of government conflict with each other. Is medical marijuana use or is the use of the sacrament legal in Hawaii? It is impossible for residents of our island to answer this question with any certainty. I am a medical marijuana patient. I have been in pain for most of my life and have serious health concerns. Over the years, physicians prescribed Vicodin and finally morphine for my pain. After the new health law was passed, my health provider informed me that the federal government will no longer reimburse clinics unless they reduce substantially or eliminate controlled medications for seniors on Medicare. I am left with my pain. I must rely on cannabis for function. But if I use cannabis, my doctors say they may not treat me. The war on drugs seems to be directed against our own local citizens instead of on the borders of Mexico and illegal drug cartels and the untaxed importation of illegal drugs. There have been so many helicopters over Fern Acres where I live that I saw two of them almost collide over my house the day before yesterday. The noise of the military copters is earth-shattering, and I remember Senator Hayakawa promising that these new helicopters for the National Guard would not be used in the drug war. Would these newest and latest helicopters not be better used in Pakistan in flood relief, or in support of our troops in Afghanistan, or on the southern border of the United States? I hope everyone eligible will register to vote by midday on Thursday. Tomorrow is the deadline, and they're registering voters 2 parking lots behind me today. So I hope everybody will exercise another freedom, and that's the right to vote and replace everyone who is now in office. I also hope that a writ of habeas corpus will be filed to free Reverend Roger Christie from unreasonable imprisonment. The seizure of property and cash in such cases is so wrong, since it can prevent a suitable defense. In fact, seizure offers a motive to police agencies to prop up inflated budgets. The best answer to the maze of problems under discussion here today is the legalization of hemp and cannabis taxation. And as we are meeting today in downtown Hilo, I hope we will not forget the homeless, mentally ill who self-medicate. Although technically illegal, it is right to structure a way for them to have medication without an annual $200 fee to a physician. Hawaii needs a dispensary system. In conclusion, I would like to ask our President to protect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, to live up to my hopeful expectations and end 2 wars, repair our economy, prosecute those responsible for the Depression and demand repayment, favor gay marriage and also service in the military, and support legislation to legalize cannabis and hemp. I belong to no church, but I hope you will join me in praying for the release of Reverend Roger Christie. A couple more comments. At a time when California is considering blanket legalization of marijuana, law enforcement should not be prosecuting a man who has tried to provide access to a healing organic plant created by God. Our local police are not on the right side of history. No priority is higher for a country than how it treats its own people. Regulation of cannabis should be immediately taken away from the State Narcotic Enforcement Division and be handled by the Department of Health. Mooheau, thank you.
Let's see, October '07, when I first started this journey, and I got busted. I got busted by Officer John Weber. And I used to hate him. I used to hate him, but actually, he did me a favor because I met all these guys, Friends for Justice, alternative pain management members. We got 400 or 500 of medical marijuanists. Of the 10,000 in the state, you got over 5,000 of them in Pune. When we passed the lowest law, before we passed it, they warned us that if we passed it, the feds were going to come in and do it. And if the feds came in, they said, hey, these guys are a lot heavier-handed, and they're going to hurt people more. And we passed the law, and guess what? The feds came in. And they are heavier-handed. I'll have to admit, they came up to my place Sunday. The helicopter landed on my property. I got medical marijuana. They didn't arrest me or take my marijuana, but they did land. They did arrest a neighbor. He had like 150 plants. And so now, under federal arrest, 150 plants, I think he's facing like a 10-year minimum. When the feds bust you and put you in jail, you've got to do every day. And they have things like 10-year minimums. But the problem with that is, we passed a law. This wasn't it wasn't a recommendation. We passed a law. Our county workers and federal law are saying they're above the law. They are not above the law. They can only get away with this if you people let them. They are not above the law. That lowest priority says not only the police not supposed to assist the Fed or get any kind of funds from the feds, they were doing it Sunday. They're doing it in direct violation of the law. We need to fix that. And Roger has been a tireless patriot for everybody in town. For them to say no bail and that he's a danger in the community is nonsense. Because when I got arrested in '07 with nowhere to go, I went down and saw Roger. Somebody told me to go see him. And he had a place right over here. And he said, look out the window there. He says, you see that turnaround point right there? He says, that's called Turnaround Junction. He says, that's where all the cane trucks used to turn around. He says, and we're going to turn your case around. And Roger was a very positive influence on my case and in my life, and they're making me an activist. My case hasn't really turned around yet, but it's been 3 years and it's still going on. But Roger was brave enough to try to help medical marijuanas. So I'm hoping everybody here will at least talk to 5 of their friends. We got a nice pile here. If we just, each one of you guys talk to 5 of your friends and everybody gets out and votes, we can fix this. We did pass a law, and now we just need to get more people into office. We're going to beat them. I can see by this movement and how the people out here. We're going to beat them. Hey, thanks for listening.
Aloha. Sing with me if you know the words.